Hello and welcome to the channel everybody. In this video I want to talk about Automobilista 2. I've had it for a few weeks now and I said I'd come back to you with what I thought about it and yeah, just give you my thoughts on it. The current version, the current version of Automobilista 2 is version 1.2.1.4 as I film this. You might be viewing this a year from now and maybe it's a little bit different, but as of mid-July 2021, this is my thoughts on it. So the pros and cons of Automobilista 2. I've got 5 pros and 5 cons. I'll start off with the pros. The first pro I have is lots of different cars. Now, it doesn't matter whether you like driving GT3 cars, Formula style cars, street cars, GT1 cars. It kind of has a little bit of it even has trucks and go-karts, and so, you know, it has a little bit of everything for everyone. The second pro is lots of different tracks. Has a lot of tracks in Automobilista 2. Most of them of quite good quality. Again, like the cars, some of them you do have to pay for, like the Nürburgring, for instance. The third pro is the graphics. The graphics of Automobilista 2, in my opinion, are quite good. Are they the best out there? I would say no. But they are still quite good in my opinion, and you can still get quite a good frame rate. Let's say like Assetto Corsa Competizione, graphics good, but really struggle to get the frame rate on that game. I think Automobilista 2 is a really good compromise between quite good graphics and good frame rate. The fourth pro of Automobilista 2 is lots of different weather conditions, which can make it really exciting. You want to drive in medium cloud, drive in medium cloud. You want to drive in thunderstorms, drive in thunderstorms. Light rain, heavy rain, tons of different options. You can even set it to change throughout the race if you wanted it to. So I really like that about Automobilista 2. Something you don't get on, let's say, iRacing. Now the fifth pro, the tyre model. I think the tyre model seems quite good. It feels okay in my opinion. It's everyone's going to have their own opinion on that. But this tyre model allows you to fight the car a little bit, which I really like. I like fighting a car. I like a car with a little bit of a loose back end sometimes. So this allows me to do that. Allows me to fight the car a little bit. Some other games like iRacing, if you start to fight the car a bit, you'll just go off the track with no way of getting it back. So tyre model is reasonable in my opinion. Now for the cons. My con number one is it can get pretty expensive if you're trying to get all the cars and all the tracks. Do you need all the cars and all the tracks? Well, I don't know. That's up to you and what cars and tracks you like to drive on. I think you're going to probably want at least quite a few cars and tracks. Like the Silverstone pack and the Nürburgring pack and the Hockenheim pack and the Spa pack and all that. Each individual, let's say the Nürburgring pack. The Nürburgring pack is $14.50 Australian. I don't know what that is elsewhere, but I'm just talking Australian figures for this video. And the Automobilista 2 expansion pack, the premium expansion pack, is $100. That's more than the game. More than the game itself. And you don't even get all the tracks in that. You still have to buy the Nürburgring and Silverstone and all that as well at the time of filming. So it can get expensive if you're trying to get all the cars and tracks. My second con is there's something wrong in the suspension model. The suspension model in Automobilista 2 is not correct. And there's something about the feel of the car going around corners and up and down and bumps and all that, especially on the Nürburgring where it's very bumpy. But I don't know, it feels like there's more than normal weight transfer. The suspension is softer than normal. I don't like their suspension model at all. Regardless of the car, of how stiff it might be, you can go and change it in the setup to be the stiffest car and it's still a bit jumpy and wobbly and got a lot of weight transfer. There's something wrong there that I think needs fixing, at least at the time of filming this. For me, that's a big downfall to this game, and one of the things that's really annoying. The second thing that's really annoying to me on this game, and my third con, is something in the force feedback doesn't feel right. Now, I'm running on a Fanatec CSL Elite, so it's about 6 Newton meters torque, so it's on the lower end compared to, let's say, a Fanatec DD1 or DD2 or Simul Cube or anything like that. But it's still more than what most people run of like a Logitech G27 or 29 or that. And for me, I'm feeling like it doesn't feel right. I have the force feedback on my wheel at 100%. I have the force feedback in the game at 100%. And yet, when I go to turn into a corner, it feels like there's not much force feedback there. And then, especially compared to a lot of the other games that I play, R-Factor 2 and I can be struggling to even turn it at 100% force feedback. Sometimes it can be a bit harder to turn the wheel, and you feel a lot more detail. Whereas with Automobilista 2, it feels like I'm just driving some Lexus SUV turning into a corner, and I'm not feeling much there. When I hit a curb, I can feel a bit. There is a setting in the force feedback settings, low force input, where you can pump that up a little bit, and I've tried pumping that up and down, and it hasn't really changed much. But the thing that in the higher end of the force feedback, it feels fine. But then, weirdly, if let's say you go off a track and you go to spin the car around, as you're spinning the car around, all of a sudden the steering wheel just rips out of your hand and it has tons of force feedback, like it's about to tear my hand off or break a finger or something. It's really weird. Again, I've tried to put some of the low forces down a little bit, because I thought maybe because I put the low forces in the force feedback say up a bit, maybe that's what was pulling my hands out of the wheel out of my hands in some of those scenarios. But I can't fix it. I don't like the way the force feedback feels. It feels like there's not enough strength in some areas and too much strength in other areas. I don't know, it just feels weird to me. I don't like that. I don't know how to fix it. I've tried messing with the settings a bit and I can't seem to get it to feel right in this particular game. But every other game is fine. So I don't know, there's something up there. The fourth con of Automobilista 2 is some of the cars are terrible. It has a wide range of cars, but some of them I never want to drive again. Like the John Cooper Works Mini, I think it is. That car, I just don't get. Nobody will ever want to drive that car. I've driven Minis in other games, and they feel cool, they feel fun, I like driving. But this, it doesn't feel right. You seem to always be overheating the front tyres as well. Very, very, very understeery. It's like it's practically undrivable with how much it overheats the front tyres. So some of the quality of some of the cars is not on par with some of the GT3 cars in the game, and maybe some of the Formula and some of the other cars. Some of the cars just aren't right in my opinion. And my fifth and final con is the AI. The AI is a bit questionable. I found when I'm just lining up on the start, do with a bit of a rolling start or something, and the lights haven't turned green, we're just turning a corner. Let's say we're at Montreal, Canada. We come through those last little S's to get onto the straight. All of a sudden, the AI starts hitting me. And like, I'm exactly where... I mean, I can't even control the car at this point, right? Before the lights go out, it doesn't actually let me to control it at that point. And bang, the AI just hits me. And damage, and there's something wrong there. Sometimes, I haven't just found it once, I've found it multiple times, where the AI can just start hitting you when you're not even in control of the car yet. The lights haven't even gone green. Also on the AI front, I find it feels like the AI has more grip in some corners that it looks like they're going full throttle. And I try to go full throttle, and there's no way I can go full throttle. Yeah, and they speed up into me, or hit me, because they've got so much pace that I can't take it at that kind of speed. And yeah, it's just, I don't know, the AI doesn't feel right to me. They do sometimes make some really questionable moves on you. All of a sudden just dive down the inside when they probably shouldn't dive down the inside. It feels like iRacing, and when you're online in the MX5 Cup with all the rookies and they just start dive bombing you left, right and centre, and they want to take you out. That's what the AI kind of feels like some of the times in Automobilista 2. Not gonna, like, yeah, I don't know, it's a bit weird, but I think those are my pros and cons of Automobilista 2. Obviously make your own mind up on that. I'm kind of 50-50 on this game. I like it, but at the same time, I don't. And there's things that keep me from it, and that's the force feedback that's annoying me. It's the suspension model that's really annoying me. And my main things that when I jump in my sim, what do I want to drive? Automobilista 2 is probably not the first thing that comes to mind, simply because of the suspension and the force feedback mostly. And sometimes weird AI stuff that they just start hitting you out of nowhere before you even control the car, which is annoying. And then you try to reset the race, and then like it happens again, and it's just, well, I'll go to a different game. Hopefully, as time progresses, Automobilista 2 will get better. We have seen Automobilista 2 get better and better over the time it's been out, and hopefully they continue to work on it, make it better, and it'll become a better and better game as years go on. And yeah, that's my thoughts on Automobilista 2. So anyway, thanks for watching this video, everybody. Hit that like button if you liked it, subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you in the next video.